have to do that. Like, I don't have to be totally in control of my environment all the time for me to feel safe and happy and comfortable and loved. It's been a rough one to learn, but I'm learning it. I am learning it each and every day, and it's an ongoing process for sure. I feel like at some point when you finish going to school, right, you feel like you have to stop learning for some reason. Like, for some reason, you think, okay, I've got everything I need, and I can go out in the world. And then the world, life in general, just comes along and boom, and just stomps you right in the head and goes, no, fucker, there's more shit to learn. You're like, God damn it. There's not going to be a test. You'll just die at the end. You're like, what? Yeah. What? Yeah. It's not fun. It's not fun at all. It's like, I'm going to what? You're going to die. I'm going to what? Blake Me says, apathy, learn it, live it. Yeah, absolutely. You cannot stagnate. You have to keep to move forward. Or you're saying that you advocate apathy, and that's a cool phrase right there. Advocate apathy, right? Skeletor says, nope, never thought I should stop learning, not even one day. You are one of the rare ones, in my opinion, Troy. I feel like a lot of people just decide, okay, I'm just going to go through life with what I got, And I'm not saying that that's right or wrong. I'm just saying that's been my experience. And maybe it's the technical support side of me coming out, because I'll talk to people in their 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, and 80s. And there's a percentage of them that will say, I don't want to know about how this works. I don't want to know. I don't know. I'm technically stupid, this and that. And it's like, you're choosing not to learn. You're choosing not to find a way to get to a place where you're comfortable, right? You're choosing to avoid knowledge, which to me is the real stupidity of life, okay? Like, there's no such thing as a stupid person. Not really. I think that there are people who have more difficulty learning than others, and sometimes that can be whittled down to not having the opportunity to learn in the way that it does work for them. And there are people who refuse to learn. And if there's a true stupidity, it's a refusal to learn. It's a refusal to grow. It's a refusal to break out of your comfort zone and take on information that will make you fear less things. I'm not saying people have to learn all the time every single day. I would argue that one typically does without realizing it. But I do feel like people have a responsibility to conquer fear. And there's a lot of fear that surrounds a lack of knowledge. Have you guys found that? At least, maybe not with yourselves, but with other people. Because I feel like people do kind of, they fear the unknown. I mean, that's a very cliche thing to say in nerd circles and stuff. Zombiefoot Gaming says, Happy Monday. Happy Monday to you too. Blatantly says, this year I've learned that as a white male, everything is my fault. If you didn't already know that was the perception, then wow, where have you been? And to be fair, why is this phone ringing? It's my day off. Unplug this fucker. Do not call me, goddammit. Fucking phone. The fact of the matter is this. White Anglo male human beings have been at the forefront of the vast majority of wrongdoing on this planet. Whether you like that fact or not is a different conversation. However, the fact remains. It's how it is. Now, that's not to say that if anyone of a different skin color or gender was in charge, that would definitely mean things were different. I can't say that, right? I can't. But, that whole thing. Now, granted, does that justify you being discriminated against or pointed at just because you are of European descent and you're male? Well, no, of course not. No one should be discriminated against. However, whether you want to admit it, whether you feel the direct effects of it or not, the idea of what is called white privilege, white male privilege, that is a real thing. It's a real thing. Whether you think it is or not. So you're not a victim in any of this. And someone pointing out that you have advantages over them because of the way you were born is not victimizing you or pointing at you in a negative way. I'm not sure I understand what you're saying there. But, I mean, ultimately, I do feel like you have to recognize that other people have it worse off than you do. And although that may not be your personal fault, there is a historic precedent as to why people feel you have privilege. And I think that that's fair. If you acknowledge that and you want to try and circumvent that that tradition, then you should probably do that. I mean, that's at the end of the day. Because people should be truly equal and all have the same opportunities to seize. Now, that doesn't mean you just hand stuff to people or to anyone, including white males. I think everyone should have to, get what they work for as much as they can. There are people that are not able to take advantage of opportunities because of different types of issues, whether it be health-wise or situational, disasters, things like that. Obviously, I think as a society, we have a right to help people out as much as we can, and obviously there's a balance there as well. But ultimately, I think that everyone should have equal access to opportunities, and the right to pursue happiness that does not infringe upon the happiness of others. For me, it's very, very simple. Zombiefoot says, speaking as a Brit, we were just as good at collecting flags and giving others Independence Days. That's fair. That's fair. I mean, if you look at, let's look at the holidays, for example. Christmas is coming up, right? Or Hanukkah or Kwanzaa or what have you. Obviously, I don't celebrate those traditionally. I celebrate the winter solstice, which is where it originally came from. It was a pagan holiday that celebrated the end of the harvest and the coming year and so forth. Those traditions, which is where the trees come from and why it's weather and things like that. Christians came along, Catholics, I should say, came along and tried to convert everybody. And as part of the bargaining chips, they're like, well, you can keep your holiday. We're just going to change the name. And they're like, what? And it's exactly what they did. There's so many holidays. Look at Easter, which is supposed to be a fertility holiday. The reason the bunny's in it is because the young coming-of-age males in the village would run around with a dead rabbit and smear rabbit's blood on the door of the females they were most attracted to. That was how it went down. And I gotta be honest, I'm kind of upset that does not prevail today. I would love to see a bunch of little dudes running around with dead rabbits and rubbing blood on people's doors. I would get a kick out of that. Even when I was a vegetarian, I would have gotten a kick out of that. All Hallows Eve, there you go. And so it goes. But then, of course, you have the flip side of St. Patrick's Day, where that is supposed to celebrate killing witches, which is not cool. So, and my daughter was born on that day, on the day that commemorates that day. And it's a little weird. It's weird to be celebrating anything on that day. People are like, oh, green beer. I'm like, you don't even know what you're drinking for. Here's the thing. I just go around asking people, do you like Bewitched? Do you like Sabrina the Teenage Witch? Do you like Hocus Pocus? Witches of Eastwick? Wizard of Oz? Harry Potter? On St. Patrick's Day, they go, yeah, I love all that. Then you need to put down that beer. Or get a beer that's not green and go drink somewhere else. And not say Happy St. Patrick's Day to anybody. Because you are celebrating the death of that culture that you love so much. Huh? What are you talking about? But that kind of goes back. Like, you want to learn something every day. You want to teach people things. I feel that sharing information is so very, very important, you guys. I feel like it's important that you don't hoard all the knowledge. And granted, you don't want to push things on people that don't want it, but you do want to let people know, I know this stuff, or I have this information, or these stories to tell, and I'd like to share them with you. That's I think, a lot of what the human experience needs more of. Pardon me a second. I'm trying to read from chat here because random capitalization is very difficult to read. So Blightby wants the dirt clods and hair pulling days to come back. Then we're good years. He says those are the good years. Best way to let a girl know you like her. Much more interactive than a check no box and a lot less property damage compared to the rabbits. If you want to be a caveman, go live in a cave. Honestly, if you want to be a caveman, go live in a cave. That's not how it's going to work in today's society, whether you like it or not. You have to learn to communicate effectively with people. If you want to be able to just knock somebody over the head and pull their hair to signify that you like them, you're acting like a 5-year-old child on a playground. Explain to me how that in any way is enlightened as a human being. Like, and to put it on a colloquial level, if you want to fuck, that ain't how you do it. All right? And if you don't want to put any more effort than hitting someone to get laid, then just get real used to the feel of the palm of your hand on your dick. Because that's all you're ever going to feel unless you buy a Fleshlight or something like that. Which you may have a hard time holding down a job if that's how you think human interaction's supposed to go. I hate to be blunt. I don't mean to be rude. You're certainly welcome here. But I'm trying to give you some tough love here. That's not a good way of looking at things. And in terms of your ability to interact with other people and get somewhere in the world. If you want to, you can think whatever you want to think. Because if you just think what you think, you're not interacting with anybody. You're not hurting anybody thinking those things. Whether I like or agree with those statements or not, you're not hurting anybody thinking that. And if you're sitting in a room somewhere right now thinking those things, I mean, you're allowed to do that. That's fine. But if you go out into the world with those ideas in your head, and then you come home wondering why no one is interacting with you, or you're not getting anywhere with whether it's females or whoever you like, and you come home and you're angry about it, that's not their fault. It's you not wanting to expand your reality. Okay, Light Me says he's trying to correct me and said I took this wrong. So he said you took that way wrong, and is concerning it was a joke about a boy like you and girl how boys act in the late 70s, early 80s. I was in the late 70s and early 80s, and not everyone pulled each other's hair. But like I was saying before, like one of the first things I said in that in my response was that you're acting like a 5-year-old kid if you're doing that. And that's really what that boils down to, little kids still do that to this day, whether you like it or not. People, kids bully each other and poke at each other and hit each other and shit when they like each other because they don't know how to express it otherwise. That is a fact. And if I made assumptions about you based upon that statement or the joke that you were trying to make, I apologize. I'm not trying to make any blanket statements about who you are as a person. The way it read, though, at the time, it felt like that's what you were doing. But I'm grateful, very grateful to know that that's not the way you feel. Mutant, yo, what's up, buddy? Zombiefoot says, in the 80s in Birmingham, you would have been kicked in the balls. That's true. It's also true in most of the places that I lived in my childhood as well. Most of the girls I grew up with were ball kickers, if you acted up. However, that doesn't mean that people still did what they did with the... I mean, he is accurate in that kids, especially back then, would like throw dirt balls at each other and pull each other's hair and shit. But, I'm still down with the rabbit's blood. Just saying. It's natural painting. That's what it is. Tom says, then, of course, there's funny things that holidays like Christmas and Easter are totally going to outlive religion thanks to commercialism. Yeah. I would argue that commercialism is a religion unto itself. Look at the way Black Friday works. Look at the way, like, couponers, for example. If you know what I mean by couponers, people who, like, spend all their time finding coupons that stack and interact and all this other shit. And they'll walk in with coupons, and they won't pay any money for goods, and they'll actually make money on the deal. Like, they'll do mail-in rebates and shit and get basically paid. It's weird. And, like, there's a level of fanaticism with that particular practice that is on par with religion. Because religion and spiritualism are not the same thing. Spiritualism is you know, the ideas and beliefs and things like that surround whatever you want to call the unknown, whatever the case. The religion is the organization of those ideas into a dogma that one must follow and that imposes rules upon society. So, you know, it's weird. It's weird. Zombiefoot says it's the religion most people agree on. I mean, yeah. And, you know, and I've said this a million times on this show, and you guys know that. If we ever got to a point where we could just have the Star Trek replicators, we just walk up to something and say, I want this. And you just could have it. And everyone could have what they wanted. And, you know, it was easy to keep places clean and stuff like that. I mean, I would be really happy with getting rid of money. I'd be really happy with having, you know, automated system to do a lot of the stuff. And you just being able to pursue education, enlightenment, video games, whatever. Troy says, lol, Black Friday, aka the day that undoes the teachings and message of the previous day. Fucking am exactly right. On the nose. Give thanks for what you have. And the next day, buy a lot of shit. Be ungrateful, fucker. You know, that's legitimate. That is truly legitimate, guys. I mean, leave it to a Canadian. I'm just saying, leave it to a Canadian and be like, you see this right here? That happened. You're like, oh shit. I love me some Canadian advice. I especially love my Troy. Love me some Troy. I'm having a good day today. I did not think I was going to have a good day today. Because yesterday was a rough day, and I ended it with a few beers, and I thought, well, I'm going to wake up hating life. And that so far has not been the case, thank goodness. And I'm really grateful to be here and be talking to you guys about what skills and ideas you've learned this year. Give me some examples of things you've learned this year, whether it's about yourself or something you had to do for a job or a hobby or whatever. Has someone ever told me that I look like a Texan redneck? No, actually. I live in Texas. I'm not from Texas. And I do not fit any of the mold of what the stereotype of a Texan redneck is. At all. I am pro-gun control. I have been pro-animal rights my entire life. Even though I'm back to eating meat, I'm very selective about where I get my meat from, things like that. I'm a fairly progressive thinking person, I like to think. And I have a car. So, instead of a truck, so to speak. So, you know, has anyone ever told me that? No. They told me I look like a trucker. I've heard that because I got the beard and the baseball cap and all that. I get that a lot. But never, you look like a Texas redneck. I'm like, okay. Like, that's a new one. That's a first for me. So, that's a first for me. Tom says, let's give all the thanks for the bounty. Oh, fuck, is that TV $50? Get the fuck out of my way. Yeah, there you go. No, I don't take any offense at all. You can tell me I look like a dog turd in a hat. I don't give a shit. You know, there's nothing you can say to me where I'm like, oh, my self-image is ruined. I don't give a fuck. You know, if you think I look like a Texas redneck, okay, you think I look like a Texas redneck. And to be honest with you, you might want to look up what a Texas redneck looks like because I don't think I do. But that's cool. No, it's fine. You have to understand that when I'm reacting to comments, I can't have a one-to-one conversation all the time. I need to make sure that people understand what it is you were referring to, and I have to explain myself. That's how talk radio works. At least I've read that somewhere. You like me already? Well, that's pretty good. So are you the part of the FBI that looks after hentai? Are you Federal Bureau of Investigation just for hentai? I mean, the beard and the music and accent. I don't have an accent from the South. Not even close. Not even remotely close. I think you're talking about this kind of accent, her? Is what you were thinking, like an exaggerated Southern accent is? I'm not from here. I'm from the Northeast of this country, where we don't talk like this. We have other more ridiculous accents, in my opinion. You know? So, just saying. Zombie said you kind of have an East Coast vibe. Oh, okay. I mean, I've lived all over the place. I've spent most of my life like a combination of the East Coast and the Midwest. So I've lived 16 years in the Midwest, and then I lived on the East Coast, North, Middle, and South, mind you, for 27 years. 27 years. So, and now I'm in the South Central U.S., y'all. You know, sorry. Yo, I'm in the South Central U.S. Got my mixtape on Texas Redneck Records called I Don't Have an Accent. I'm sorry. I couldn't finish that one. I'm getting hyped for something that doesn't exist. So, like, I feel like my diction, the way I speak, has been influenced by so many different influences. Because people always tell me, well, you have that accent, you have that accent. I'm like, I've been those places. No, I don't. No, I don't. Like, I know what you're referring to, and I can see why you would think this. But I find that objectively untrue. But, you know, that's just my opinion. Okay? K. You'd buy that? I mean, that's cool. I need to sell that. Yo, check out my mixtape. Do people still make those? Like the mixtape, and they sell it on like a hype video on YouTube or some shit? Is that still a thing? No, I didn't say that. I mean, I'm all about some Bill Hicks, man. All about the Bill Hicks. And besides, let's say for the sake of argument, one references the KKK, like the fact that they exist and they're a bunch of jackasses. It's not the same as being in the KKK and supporting the KKK. Those are different things. Like mentioning a cheeseburger and eating a cheeseburger have different levels of cholesterol attached to them. If you reference that a cheeseburger exists, cholesterol does not enter your body. So let's pull it back. But I hope you have a good day as well, regardless. Nice for you to stop by. I appreciate it. I get it. Like, if you don't understand that I'm joking right back with you while explaining these things in a smarmy tone, keep listening. This is how it works. I want to say this out loud. Hentai FBI. Because if I don't, I'll never believe it. Join the grind, fam. Thank you very much. But yeah, that's the thing, is that I'm here to talk about things, and I will over-explain everything. That's what we do here. You know, if I just said, K, I didn't say KKK, and just kind of stared at you creepily, that wouldn't be very entertaining now, would it? You tell me. How about this? Instead of that, I'll just say this. I'll just do this. I didn't say KKK. Would you watch this for 3 hours? I wouldn't. So don't worry. I'm not angry. I'm not mad. I'm just trying to create content, my friend. I'm trying to create something that is compelling to watch and interact with. Like my mixtape on... Hello, boners. How you doing? How are you doing, Mother Radhika? Mother Radhika, Mother Radhika, Mother Radhika, Mother Radhika. Captions you crazy. Captions you crazy. How you doing, buddy? Rebecca, mother. Captions you crazy. Captions crazy. You mother. It's weird. Like, it'd be this. What I need to do sometime is take one of the VODs and just like crop towards just the captions and just read the captions back and see if they like how like play a game of telephone with my own captions. And that is a bit weird, isn't it? It is a bit weird, isn't it, Murder? Bit weird. It's a bit weird. Bit weird. Let me know if you can hear this. Want to make sure you can hear it. I want to get too far in the show before I start, like, referencing GIFs and shit, and you guys can't hear it. A little weird. But yeah, we talking about kind of stuff. Right? We want to know what people were learning, and we got into a nice conversation about holidays. We got a nice conversation about you hears. I hear this. Well, maybe you deserve to get some snacks. Need some snacks. I need some snacks, damn it. I know I just had pizza, but, given, my post beer drinking rot gut, it will be leaving my body very soon. That's how it is. You have a few too many beers, and the next day you eat something that you probably shouldn't, and your body's like, I don't want that in me. Get it out. Get that thing out of my body. Like, but it's my body. No, you're abusing me. I also ate pork rinds last night, so I'm surprised that I'm not in a worse way. Pork rinds and ice beer. Hell on the stomach. Not good for you. Well, it was good. It was very good. Very good. You're like, that's me. I like snacks. I like snacks too. I mean, clearly I like snacks. A lot. I like snacks a lot. I like big snacks and I cannot lie. My record's on Redneck. I can't say redneck Texan. I can't say that. The guy comes in here, says something pretty funny, and I can't even say it. Can't even sell my own mixtape. No one's going to buy it if I can't even say the name of the label. Yo, it's on Redneck Texan Records. You thought you were calling me fat? No, I wasn't calling you fat. A redneckson? I mean... Thing is, though, I think someone from Texas would take offense to that because being Texan is such like a... It is an identity thing here because, like, Texans are really different. In the way that, like, they're in a take-no-shit approach to life. And I don't know where that really comes from. But it is pretty prevalent down here. And every Texan I've ever met, on some level, there's that underlying, don't fuck with me thing. Even the old ladies are like, get out of my way, sonny, I'll bop you so hard. They don't actually say that. That'd be funny if they did it like, get out of my way. Get out of my way, you wanna be redneck. You look like one, but you're not one of us. I can tell. I have a nose for these things. I'm an old lady. Maybe. I don't know. I was not calling you fat, Murder Radical. I'm fat. You are not. You are not. You is not. You wish you had my ass. Never gonna get it. Not this time. Never gonna get it. Nope. My bubble butt is my bubble butt. Only I can have it. Honestly, the best reason for having a butt the size of mine is that in a really bad survival situation, I can cut my own ass off and eat it if I needed to. I would probably not do that. I'm thinking about it right now, and I can't imagine how much that would hurt. Because you have the supplies to like do the skin grafts necessary to recover from cutting one's own ass off. One would assume you also have the resources to get better sources of food. I don't know. Maybe that would be the case. However, so back to, the original topic here, we have you strayed way off in the distance. From my distance. And we're talking about learning. What have you learned this year? Like, what is something that you've picked up on? Like, Mercer, you are assholes. Appreciate that. Appreciate that. Um, I've definitely taken the time to look at how I interact with people and my own life and what I expect. And what I said at the top of the show was that I am learning that I don't have to be in absolute control of everything all the time to be happy. It is something that for a long time was a big part of how I tried to make things work in my life. I wanted to have absolute control over my environment to the degree that I could. I always knew there were some things out of my control, but I went a little bit further to ensure that I didn't have to worry about nothing. And I think it comes from a lot of places for me. I think it came from my dad trying to do the same thing with his life. It was clear he wanted to control everything. And he seemed to do well for himself. So I was like, subconsciously, I'm going, well, maybe that's the approach I need to take. So I tried it, and it works for some things. Works for some things very well. For most things, not really, because people don't react well to that. They don't react well to the person who, needs to have control. So now I've kind of shifted that to I need to feel like I have control. So I just like knowing what's going on. I like knowing, like, let's say next Tuesday is Christmas. I like the idea of knowing where we're expected to be and what time we're expected to be there. That makes me feel better about it. I don't like flying by the seat of my pants. But speaking of my pants, I'm going to shit them if I don't go to the bathroom. So I'll be right back, and I'll be not shitting my pants. Be right back. That was fun. That was a lot of fun. And by fun, I mean, it was basically the biological equivalent of my ass telling me, did you seriously just put 20 ounces of Coca-Cola and pepperoni pizza in me after the last thing you fed me was spicy pork rinds and ice beer, you moron. Because that's exactly what I did. Because I'm smart. I'm really smart. Can you tell? Not really. My butt retaliated. It was a butt rebellion. It was an ass uprising. Rated R. In theaters Friday. Sync preview March 19th. You guys notice that the sync preview is always on March 19th? Have you noticed that? Well, now you know. Half the battle. G.I. Joe. Oh, murder. Check this out. Isn't that funny? Funny, right? It's funny. Next one's going to be Mama. And then I'll get one that says, Paw! Pee! Murder says, I emotionally ate all the cheese this week, so I can't judge you. That's fair. Fair. Hey kid, I'm a computer. Stop all the downloading. I've got a computer to rate some games on a help computer. I did. G.I. Joe. Piccoli. That's weird. It's weird when you say it like that. Say it again. No. But, yeah, I'm learning not to feel like I have to be in control. Like, I feel like a year or two ago, I would have held that need to go to the bathroom for a lot longer because I will not be interrupted by my colon, you know? But I was like, you know what? It's going to happen one way or the other. I might as well do it now. Get it out of the way, you know? Whereas, like I say, a year, 2 years ago, you're like, buy my colon? You buy it from me? You don't like your colon? Do you want a new colon from Mama? You want a colon from Mama? You want Mama to get you a colon? You want Mama to get you a colon? Oh, that's what Cece said. Oh. But it led to other funny stuff, you know. You want Mama to get you a colon? Girl, you want Mama to get you a colon? How weird would it be if all these like food companies that sell you food that like ruined your body then sold you the replacement parts for your body so you could keep eating and drinking their products? So, like, what if there was a Coca-Cola, okay? Or a McBowel, if you will. Huh? See where I'm going here? Let me think. I'm trying to think. Hang on. I know what I want the ending to be. I'm trying to think of what the beginning needs to be. Hang on. International House of Pancreas. Now you're getting it. There you go. Shit. Kidney Stone Light. You have that one? There's got to be more, guys. Keep those coming because we gotta have like corporate sponsored replacement parts. That's crazy. Cardiac instant breakfast. Oh, hey George. I need to have some kind of an actual announcement for George when George comes in. When George types, it needs to be something, I think. And I think I probably just need to get a good HD Jetson George and just go with that. Probably. However, George is officially Triple G Stefani. Or Stefano. I'm not sure if I said... I think it was either or. Stefani or Stefano. Yo, this is Triple G Stefano. She don't take none of your goddamn shit. Murder says, honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if it was a thing in the U.S. Like, no one would be surprised. You're right. Absolutely. Absolutely. But yeah. Triple G Stefani, motherfucking gangster. Shit. Triple G. Yeah, it's weirder when I say it out loud, isn't it? Yo, that's Triple G Stefani. Or Stefano. I'm not sure which one it would be. I don't know. What did I say? Stefano? Is that what I said? Stefano? I don't know. I have no idea. It's your nickname. You can have some input. Random things on the internet. My new Bowflex is here. Your Bowflex? It is not Ed Stefano, sir. You think it was Stefano? Okay. I'm so excited. My new Bowflex, aka boyfriend, is here. That should be a song on the internet. My Bowflex boyfriend. He bends me, he stretches me, he makes me thinner because he likes that. I don't know. I don't know. He makes me stronger as a person because he gives me lots of resistance. I don't know. That's not really a song, but you could do it. You could do it together. Captions and masterpiece. Well, I can't take any credit for that. Actually, the captions are not my doing. Myrna says, I'm sure there's a my boyfriend likes beer more than me joke in there somewhere. I mean, that's fair. And I'm sure that, unfortunately, there are people out there that have that affliction. I will say that, and as I'm sure that Murder is aware, and certainly Sam, if he's here, and so forth, a lot of the other regulars, like, I drink a shitload less than I used to. Shitload less. Troy says, that next hit summer jam, work on the lyrics, I'll come up with a beat. George says, I just want to lay in bed, eat ice cream, I have grumps. I mean, then, unless it's going to severely negatively impact your life, lay in bed, eat ice cream. It's okay to have the grumps. It's okay. You're allowed. People are allowed to have down days, man. People are allowed to have that. And George, if you can sit in bed and eat ice cream, you sit in bed and eat ice cream. And don't let anyone tell you otherwise. Send them my way. You're like, not really, to be honest. So you can't really afford to do, you gotta go do stuff. Okay. Fair. I mean, you could eat ice cream throughout your day. Maybe stop at a... Oh, you really have everything you gotta do? He's like, so I could even have the ice cream delivered. Yo, girl. Real talk. Like, when I was in Iowa, I never had to leave the house. Ask Bourne, especially. Like, I would just have groceries straight up delivered to me and shit. Oh, cool. Yeah, sit in bed and eat ice cream. Fuck them. Fuck them. Well, don't fuck them. That would be something. But you know what I mean. Murder's like, I'm gonna do my impression of Murder. Eat the ice cream. Eat it. Eat it. I know it is a problem. Nah, because I really like I would just not go anywhere. Didn't have to. You know, especially once I got my day job where I'm working from home. Like, I had no desire to leave at that point. You know, I was working out of the office the same room I streamed in, but I had like a living room where I could just sit and just lounge, which I still do. I have a living room, obviously. And I would just watch whatever I'm watching. There was no one else in the house. It was really weird in hindsight. Like, the way that I lived for like 6 years. Yes, they're on, Tom. Hey, the way that I lived for like 6-7 years is weird to me now. It's weird to not have people around. Big proponent of anything that involves being a sloth. Fair. So what, you're going to listen to the original version after this one? Which, I gotta be honest, like I feel like Mad World, the original Mad World, it's a great song, but I feel like it kind of misses the mark on the mood that the lyrics evoke. I feel like this version, Gary Jules' version, makes more sense. Or pardon me, Michael Andrews featuring Gary Jules. Pardon me. That's my opinion. Not as good as this one. I agree. I like everything Tears for Fears ever did, but when I heard this, I was like, although I don't like the drums. I don't like the crazy trap drums in this version. I like just the straight piano and voice. Way more haunting. In the music combat thingy I did on, I remember preferring the Tears for Fears version. It is a more fleshed out tune, but I feel like this version, minus the drums, nails the tone a lot better and drives home the lyrics. I think the original Tears for Fears version, you gloss over what the song's about because the song structure is really good. So I think it's a give and take kind of thing. You know? Just my 2 cents, buddy. You like whatever you want to like. And I'm not going to say you're wrong. That was Friday's episode where I'm like, opinions are not facts. They're not. Because they're not. They're really not. Those of you that have been following along, I know that there's like maybe 2 of you. Tomorrow night is my last episode of True Talk. Last time I'm doing anything with that podcast on a regular basis. Because we're closing out the season and the other co-host is leaving the show, and I said, well, I'm not going to keep doing it if you aren't doing it. We'll give the show to somebody else. So that's what we're doing. It's pretty fun. So if you want to see me get equal parts salty and maybe shed a tear or something, head over to True Talk tomorrow night, just so you know. The cast from Riverdale did a cover of it, and it feels really good. Oh my god. Yeah, I've seen that. Actually, Riverdale's good stuff. Took a lot of convincing to get me to watch that show, but once I did, I was like, oh, girl? That show, though? You know, pretty good. It's pretty good, George. It's a good pull. Mm-hmm. Tom says, I think the Gary Jules version also has just grated on me since it was everywhere years ago. Yeah, and I think that happens with a lot of songs, though, like where you oversaturate something and, you don't like it. You know, but you got to understand, like, I heard this song a bunch. It's trash, and I love it. Like a raccoon, black eyes, and I like trash. No wonder we get along. Huh? Hey, you see what I did? Self-deprecation. You see that? Yeah. Good. I'm good at that. It's my thing. What I do. Okay. Black eyes cause makeup. I get you. I get it. And I love how the emoticon on mobile always makes that little, just want you to know this emote is female. Just so you're aware. Okay? In case you didn't know the sexual identity of the emote, there it is for you. It's bigger than the emote itself because it's really important. Weird. It's really weird. Oh, look. I was going to say, there goes a white male, but I mean, technically he is, but he's a vampire, so. Look at me, I have white privilege. Blah. I'm going to suck up your opportunities. That's horrible. I think about the next Underworld movies just about, white white male vampire privilege. Like that's the whole movie. They're just them in a room going, look. I do love it. I think it's hilarious. I'm sure that it exists in the vampire world. I am sure that white male vampires have privilege too. You can't tell me they don't. Maybe. Which part did you want? You want to be like, I'm a white male vampire. I'm going to suck up your privileges or your opportunities. Look at that. Plus, we got that clip that Tom made. Let me look at that one real quick. Move that one. Would you watch this for 3 hours? I wouldn't. That's really good. It's just the clip of me staring right at the camera going, would you watch this for 3 hours? I wouldn't. That's great. That's fucking great, buddy. That, TWS, yes. Okay, I can do that. Huh, Tom says he just remembered he meant to do a music combat thing on Shout versus Shout. Yeah, it would have been kind of funny to do, except it's kind of an unfair fight. You know what I mean? Like, it's stupid. Well, I feel like it's just too easy. Oh, it's Disturbed? Same difference. It's just like, it's an easy, like, well, as far as I am concerned, it's an unfair fight. You put any original Tears for Fears song off of Songs from the Big Chair against any other version of a song by them, and they're gonna lose. Sorry. The original versions are perfect. The only way those songs could be better is if you took the original vocal tracks, the original synth tracks, added a new drum track underneath it and guitar and bass, and made them like death metal songs with some like growly backing vocals kind of thing. Because I've said it a million times, I'll say it a million more times before I'm off the earth. Songs from the Big Chair is one of the heaviest death metal albums ever recorded on synthesizers. It's fucking death metal record, I'm telling you. You listen really close, like those are fucking death metal riffs. Telling you. And I'm gonna tell you again. I love how I'm like, I sometimes will stretch out my reactions to wait for chat to catch up, but it's lag. Lag will never catch up. It's just lag. You know? It's weird. Mom gonna tell you. I plan to do that, a few that were really short, and I said, no contest, this version wins type ones. Yeah, I get that. Is it weird that I prefer the Alien Ant Farm version of Smooth Criminal a lot more? Like a lot more. Because I think the choice of tone on the synth in the original is bad. You know, vocally, obviously, Michael Jackson is a winner hands down in almost any vocal fight he gets into, except for like Freddie Mercury. Oh, I got you. You think the song is better overall, even though Michael Jackson's a better vocalist. I get you. I feel like it's rare that kind of thing will happen, but sometimes it does. I mean, and to be fair, Mike didn't write all of his tunes. He had co-writers and stuff, so like it's not really doing a disservice to him. Troy says, just you wait for the SNES thrash version of Smooth Criminal. I'm intrigued. I'm listening. You guys don't know by now. Skeletroy on YouTube does some amazing shit with taking basically Super Nintendo games, songs, and remixing them as thrash songs, but using the same sound sources. It's really cool. Over on his YouTube channel. Check him out. MG's vocal, the AAA type instrumental would be better. I agree. Yeah, that would have been a lot better. That would be really cool. Like, Michael Jackson singing over anything remotely heavy metal would have been kind of cool. I would have loved to have seen some kind of collaboration like that. Like King of Pop with Metallica would have been cool. I mean, I heard Lady Gaga with Metallica, and I loved it. I thought she did a really good job. It was cool what she did with their stuff. But I always thought it would be kind of cool to take it in the other direction, where you take a pop song, because a lot of pop songs, as history has proven, if you add just the right twist on the arrangement and the instrumentation, you've got some really heavy stuff really quick, right? Thriller could have been a thrash song in a heartbeat, you know? You get tons of songs like that. Tons of songs like that. You know? Just as a reminder, while we're having this meandering conversation about all things, everything, if you have something you've learned this year you want to tell us about, something you've learned about yourself or others, a skill, a habit, you want to share it with the chat, throw it out there. We'll talk about it. And then a little bit here, we're going to get into some Destiny here. Kind of wonder if Gaga will ever do anything with Judas Priest, if it hasn't happened yet. Apparently the singer Judas Priest said he'd be up for it. Possible, I suppose. I mean, Rob Halford got some pull in the biz. He probably could make it happen. But I imagine that Miss Gaga is rather in demand. And Judas Priest is really busy with their final tour or so. Graves like, I learned that ice cream in bed is amazing, and I continue to learn from it every time I do it, so I will continue to do it, because that's self-improvement, bitch. And if that isn't what you're going to say, you can just write that down, and you can tell it to anybody who asks. You can have that. No trademark. Free of charge. I mean, hell, even if you like, there's a different flavor of ice cream you like now that you didn't before. Tell you what I learned: bacon's overrated. Seriously, had my bacon for the first time in 8 years the other day. It's good. I love bacon, but I expected it to be like, oh. The only thing that I went back to that I had been like, that really resonated with me was when I had that burger at Chili's. And I thought my whole body was going to explode with delight. It's so good. The steak's pretty good, too. Tom says I'm blanking. I don't know. Murray says, I learned I'm allergic to avocado and mushrooms, therefore cake is safer than vegetables. You're allergic to avocado and mushrooms? That sucks, because so many good things with avocado and mushrooms in it. That means no guacamole, no guacamoles, no mushrooms. Mushrooms are amazing. Breaded mushrooms, yo. Grave says, I had to kind of backburner myself this year, but I've returned to creating and painting again. I'm struggling with my loss of skill over the past few years, but I can only keep trucking along to get her back. Absolutely. Yeah. You know, it's like anything else. You know, it's the old riding a bike, who's what's it, right? They kind of burnt it, didn't they? No? All right. Made these awesome taco bowls and put avocado on them and died. Tried avocado on its own again just to be sure. Died. Volt says, I come in, I hear explode with delight from Chili. Also hi. Well, I exploded from delight. It was Chili's, like the restaurant. I was eating a hamburger there. It was the first meat burger I'd had in 8 years. And it was, I don't know who the hell was on the grill that day, but god damn was it good. It was so good. It was like, put it in my mouth. I want it. I want more of it in me. Put the meat inside, Chili's. Put it inside. Sorry, I needed a minute. Sorry. Oh, they have the chicken tenders? Yeah. Get his number and learn from him? Nah, I'll just let him make me burgers, man. Way easier. It's way easier. Like, hey man, can you? I'll teach you what you want and cook this for me. See this? I'm giving you 100% of the money to make 100% of the sandwich. Here you go. That's how it works for me. Tom said I've learned I'm probably too impatient to learn guitar. Dude, I am the same. Especially as someone who's a somewhat accomplished musician, I feel like when I pick up an instrument, if I know the basic ideas behind it, I should be able to just do it. And when I can't, I'm like, this is stupid. Fuck this guitar. You know. Murder says they got rid of their chicken tacos, though, and there's chicken Caesar pita. There's this place down here that does, I think I told you guys about this. It's a fajita buffet. And at a glance, I'm like, I don't know, that's a good idea. You know. But I went because they were giving free dinners to veterans. I'm like, I'm hungry. I'll go. I went. And they gave me all the fajitas I could eat. I just had to go up to the bar and they would bring fresh tortillas out, so they would be freshly pressed tortillas. And I just have steak and chicken and onions and peppers and whatnot. I just took meat, wrapped it in a tortilla, and just went nom 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 until I couldn't eat anymore. It's a good feeling. I enjoyed that. I love the way they looked at me when I was there too. They're like, "You want something to drink?" I'm like, "Water's fine." They're like, "Well, it's included in your free meal." I'm like, "No, I really just want water. Thank you." And they're like, "Okay." Went and got me water and shit. It's cool. Paul says to actually pay the chef for every burger, he needs the money. He might not. If some chefs at restaurants make pretty good dough. Some of them, depending on where they're working. I have not known anyone that works at a Chili's ever. So I don't know if Chili's is one of those places where you get a good salary or not. I don't know. Murder says, people get so confused when you choose water over sugar. I mean, even I get confused when I choose water over sugar. Are you kidding me? You kidding me? Bolt is like, I don't know. I don't know either, sir. I don't know. At all. But that's okay. We'll learn together. You and I. Alright? We'll learn. Tom says I got that Rocksmith PS4 game a year or two ago to help me focus. I just got bored after a while. I almost want to give drums a try instead, but I'm like, ugh, what if I have the same problem? Fair. Yeah, Rocksmith on PS4. I think I had it on Xbox 360 where I had it, pretty sure. And I did okay with it. You know. And I got pretty good, but it was just I can't just sit and play the guitar, and that's kind of the thing where I'm like, ew. The rare times I get fast food, I always get bottled water, and they're like, there's an upcharge for that. I'm like, yeah, I don't care. Give me the water. Like, give it to me. Now, granted, what I love about being in Texas is that all the fast food joints here, you can get sweet tea. So, granted, that's a lot of sugar, but at the same time, it's more mild in terms of the caffeine. It's not acidic. You know, you don't like drinking my calories. I get that too, though. I get that too. Only feel like I'd fare a little bit better with drums because something being in front of me instead of constantly having to look down if I lose my place. Yeah. I can see where that goes. But I will say, if you're thinking in those terms, it's like you're overthinking it already. You know, if you want to learn, if you want to know if you can play drums, like, start watching drum videos where they show what they're doing and start practicing. Get a pillow, just go to the store, get a pair of drumsticks. Get a pillow, and just start moving your hands and feet the way they do it. There's not that much difference. There really isn't. See if there's any chance of you having that coordination. Hell, you can just use your body. You know? Like, you can just sit there and do that all day. You know what I mean? You could just do that and see if it makes sense for you to invest anything into it. You know what I mean? feel like the problem with Rocksmith is that it doesn't provide much incentive other than making you better. I learned to play guitar because I wanted to make music. It didn't matter how awful I was in the beginning. I was making songs that didn't exist, and it gave me the motivation to keep going. Yeah, and for me, Troy, like, I was wanting to learn with Rocksmith because I was going to be writing my music. I was going to be doing Knifivore completely solo. That was the goal. And I knew that my compositions were really... what's the word I'm looking for? Atypical. So I would have to learn how to play guitar and then translate these things. And I was like, I know what I want to do, but I need the skill set. I needed to learn. I had to learn the skill set to do it. So for me, Rocksmith should have worked, but I just couldn't. I couldn't commit to it. I just couldn't sit down and do it. And maybe it's because it was. It was going in a direction other than just the raw knowledge. I don't know. I'm not sure. It's an interesting case study for sure. Bolt says it's not necessarily a skill, but something I learned of myself after having a short relationship over the summer with a classmate. Ended up staying friends. I thought I was okay, but as time went by, I met them again in class. I suddenly started thinking, what if? And I guess the breakup did more damage than I thought. I'm fine now, but I thought it was mentally tougher than that. Well, it's not about... well, when we're talking about, like, loss of love, especially if it's something that is relatively new to you, okay, it's perfectly normal to be hurt. Like, there's no version, if you really care about somebody and what you're doing, you know, with that person, the relationship you're in, there's no way to avoid hurt in some way. Even if you hate them at the end of it, you still, like, you're still going to have hurt from the fact that it's the good times aren't there anymore. That's natural. That doesn't mean that you're not tough. It just means you're realizing that does sometimes hurt, and that's normal, dude. Don't worry about it. Reznov says, I hate people now more than ever, if that's a skill. I'm not sure if it's a skill. It's a change. You know? Why do you hate people now more than ever? Is it because, like, every game isn't Spider-Man? I'm wondering. Volt says, thing is, they came to me for the relationship and I felt I wasted that opportunity. That is a normal feeling, Volts. It really is. Mega Gamer says, I want to see your skills. Default dance right here, right now. I'm not going to dance to any Jesus Jones song. It's not going to happen. And I don't dance. This is not a dancing channel. I have a lot of skills. I'm not a dancer. So, I'm telling you right now, if you value your eyesight and your sanity, just, you don't want that. Trust me. Well, welcome to the stream, I'll say. George says, I dislike the general populace, but certain folk are worth my time and love. That's how I feel. I feel like society at large, the direction that we're going in as a culture, as a society, makes me want to throw up. But I come across people almost every day that are definitely worth my time and attention, and I'm grateful to have those people in my life. Yeah. But Volt, that's totally normal, man. It's normal to look back with regret on relationships and go, what could I have done differently? And it's easy to do that in hindsight, you know. There's a reason that hindsight is 20/20. Now you can see perfectly because you're removed from it at that point. And if you're removed from it, it's easy to analyze. So don't worry that you, and especially if it was a new thing for you, you know, something you're not experienced with, like this is something you will learn. It takes time. And I think what you'll probably find is that the next person or that you're in a relationship with, you will find that you will be conscious of wanting to make sure that you're giving everything you have to give to the relationship. And that may end up working out for you. It may not. And you'll learn something else either way, whether it works or doesn't work. So, I mean, that's the beauty of you know, love and romance and sex and relationships. You know, they educate. for better or for worse, it's like if you eat something and your face explodes, like with murder, with avocado and stuff. She learned that she can't eat avocado anymore. It's a valuable lesson. It's a good thing she wasn't on some like mukbang show where they're like, "Here, eat all the avocado for $2 million." She's like, "All right." Halfway through the competition, she dies. Don't ever do that. Don't die, murder. You're not allowed. That's a weird phrase structurally. Don't die, murder. It's weird. In terms of what Rez said, no matter what side you are, when the result of the government voting system, it does kind of remind you percent of the population just like fair. I mean, that's the thing, though. I kind of feel like the fact that we even have these highly polarized political parties in a lot of the Western world is indicative of as a whole, we need to change the way we think about societal issues. It is not black and white, left or right. Never really has been, and never should be. But it is what it is. Hang on a second. All right, sorry about that. I've been hearing noise. I'm like, what the fuck? Because it's weird, because I can hear it through the mic, but I can't hear it in my ears. Murder says, I just can't believe avocado betrayed me. Like, I'm okay with not being able to eat dairy or gluten because of my tum-tum, but fucking vegetables? Fucking vegetables. Right, George. Yeah, I saw that too. Yeah, somebody hacked a friend of ours' Twitter account and apparently posted something really bad. I didn't see it. I don't know what it was about, and it sounds like they were able to get through without any major issues, but goddamn, it's fucked up. You hear weird bass, you do hear it. I've been hearing it too, and I think it's coming from up there. I'm guessing that they have it turned up because I'm loud in the middle of the day on a Monday. Yeah, it's gotta be the neighbor up there, and I can't do anything about it. Can't see how someone talking would warrant that. I don't fucking know. People are assholes, bottom line. But you'll have that. So I apologize for the I apologize for that, but I can't really change anything about that. The fact that I can hear it is what's bothered me. That's what's bothered me. Yeah, everyone can. And I'm not the kind of guy to like hit the wall or the everything. Yeah, it's just one of those things. I don't want to be a bad neighbor. This never happened before, so. No, it's like a subwoofer, and it's like the bass from the TV or the subwoofer or whatever going through this the ceiling of the walls or something. Beaten, we use captions for two main reasons. One, there are a lot of people that watch streams that have to mute the streams because they're watching at work and they can't use sound. And there are people in the world who can't hear. So the captions are here to give them an option to, imbibe Twitch in a way that they wouldn't be able to before. And that's why we use them. For example, when I'm not streaming, I have to work. And when I work, I like to lurk. When I like to lurk, I like to read. So the people that use captions, they're going to get my viewership probably more than a person who doesn't have captions, because watching a person do this see how that works? Notice how the captions didn't move and didn't do any good. However, see how that works? That's right, Troy. I was going to add that at the end. I wanted to make sure I illustrated that other side of it. But I thank you, sir. And thank you, Beaton. Like, it's not my idea. I didn't start this. I saw a friend of mine, Ashley Christ, doing it, and I asked her about it, and she hooked me up with someone who's involved with the project called Snuggy Bun, and I love this individual very much, and they helped me out a lot. And, you know, I advocate the project a lot. I love having them here, and they're funny. Rez says, okay, that was epic. Like, you liked the demonstration, did you? You see how that works? See, I was ready for that shit. It's like my mixtape. It's like my mixtape coming out on Texas Redneck Records. It's called, oh, I forget what the mixtape was supposed to be called, but it's all right. It's a callback to the beginning of the stream. You see, it's a sorry. Ran out of steam there. Ran out of steam. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. However, I think it might be time for some Destiny. Go ahead and we're still going to talk. We're still going to have our conversations, but I want to make sure I get some gameplay in because 1 is what I'm known for. 2, I enjoy playing Destiny. 3, I haven't played Destiny in a few days. So, all those things. Update the game. Done. And done. Just like that. That's how fucking fast I am with that shit. Playing Beyond Two Souls. That's a pretty good game. I gifted myself a full playthrough of that game on Christmas Day of 2013? Yeah, 2013. Because I got the game super cheap on Black Friday. Call back once again. And I promised myself not to play it, seek out any spoilers, and I played it on Christmas Day. I got up in the morning, made some coffee, and I played the whole fucking game. Start to finish. Took the whole day, and I loved it. It was awesome. Awesome. But I want to play it again. I just haven't yet. I have not. Just gotta make sure this vape doesn't fall off the goddamn table here. There we go. Alright. Detroit Become Human. I definitely want to play that as well, but I have a strong feeling that's going to end up being a free game at some point. I'm just going to wait. I really want to play that.